And we're live. Hi, JJ.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
Yay.
Boy, everybody, when she popped in, I was just like, oh my God, I was wanting to drop things. It's like,
Yeah.
JJ's here, Tutah's here. Oh my God, kind of.
I'm spilling my tea. I'm like, my English isn't coming
Literally
out.
spilling the tea, not figuratively, but literally. But we don't want her to do that because she's wearing a beautiful white outfit. So, everybody, thank you for being here. I don't think this lady really needs much introduction. She's
I know
she's
everybody here.
she's burning up the our community channels. Everybody's starting to know who JJ and Tuta speaks. They know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh,
Right.
yeah. It's kind of like, where do you even begin?
Well, I would
Um,
like to begin with Sedona since you and Juno were talking about it.
mhm.
Um, yeah.
And she's here. So really quick, hi, Teresa
Yeah.
Levine is here. Juno, hello, sweetheart. We have Sherry, she's here. Isadora. So people will be popping in. Lauren, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here.
So I go to these retreats in Sedona. I don't know. I've been there maybe like, I don't know, maybe 10 times. It feels like it over the years. And you know how those like things come in your life where you're like, okay, looking back, that helped me. Looking back, that was a
Mm-hmm.
stepping stone. This is a stepping. I just feel like today is about stepping stones for you and me and the community.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when people are working on themselves, through all the different layers that we beautiful humans have, um, it's not easy sometimes. And I remember going through ascension symptoms. Did you have a lot of those symptoms when you were coming in to your own?
Actually, this past month, late December maybe, but especially this month, I have had a couple of episodes, one live that I had to hide because I was physically getting ill. Like my right side was like, how do I say it? Like the nerves were tightening. I was getting ringing in the ears. I was getting a little bit nauseous.
Hmm.
My heart was beating a bit. And I was like, wow, where is this coming from? My jaw was getting kind of tight and painful. And I went and I talked to another reader, Tangi. She had a channel called Roman Biscotti on here. And I said, listen, what is this? Was this possibly energy that might not have been good that was coming through? What? And she's like, sweetheart, she goes, you are developing, you're progressing. The more you do your cards, the more you connect with spirit. She goes, you're opening yourself up. She goes, you are having like what I guess people are calling downloads. They're and it throws. She goes, were you okay afterwards? I said, yeah, I had a little something to eat. I was okay after. She goes, okay. She goes, your energy is being lifted, raised, and this was the second
Ooh.
time this had happened. So I had, I think, two of these. Either there was one in December and one this month, or they were both in this month. But they were like literally, no, it was this month. They were like literally a week apart. One was right after Alive, where out of nowhere it was just like, honey, can you help me sit down? And then after a few minutes I was fine. And then during the live, she's like, you're downloading, you're receiving. And she goes, and when you start feeling these physical symptoms, it could be that that was a message for somebody. So
Hmm.
I'm, I've always just been intuitive, reading with the cards and just trying to learn the cards and just kind of being guided to what I'm supposed to say. But I never considered myself channeling or, anything like that. And so I guess I can kind of segue if you want, or if you want me to wait, into when I first heard you with your with Tuda coming through. It was like I recognized it. It was something, it's weird. It's like something I've never heard coming from somebody before. And there were like multiples, but it was the same language. And I was getting like words like Lemuria. I was feeling in my heart, I was getting chills. And hearing you that day, boom, triggered me back to when I was 16 years old. And I'll go ahead. Do you want me to share this now or do you want me to wait? Okay,
Right
I'll
now
share
is
this now.
perfect. Mhm.
So when I was about 16 years old, I grew up with, I had really bad endometriosis from a child all the way up until my hysterectomy about 6, 7 years ago. And one day the pain got so bad. The pills were taking so long, the pain meds to kick in, that I was laying in bed and I started crying out. I don't know if it was singing too, but I remember just crying out, going on in a language that I didn't know nothing. I didn't know what I was saying. All I know was that I was speaking in another language, scared the living hell out of my mother. Um, and I think it was later on when the pills started kicking in and I was starting to get knocked out. And it was kind of like that lucid in between that um, I had died during childbirth. And I was telling JJ, I don't know if that was a spirit that was channeling through me to let me know in this lifetime I was going to be okay, or if that was me reliving that past life. When with that being so much pain, down below, if that pain triggered that past life memory, and that was me from a past life coming through myself, crying out, knowing that I was in the process of dying.
Yeah.
And JJ was like, okay, we're going to wait now until we go live before I give you, my impression on that. So I'm very interested to find out if this female voice, because you thought it was a male. So this is
Well,
in.
yeah, on my side of the story, you got the reading with the river, and you went
Mm-hmm,
to the galaxies. And I don't
mm-hmm.
remember everything about everyone's readings, but I do remember there was a couple of the galaxy rivers, and I'm trying to just speak English here, but so you sent me your story that you hadn't shared with anybody except for a
Nope.
couple of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, um, I said, there's somebody waiting here for you, and I'll tell you more about him. But I said, there's somebody here waiting. Do you want to do this as a private session, or do you want to go ahead and do it on a live stream? And then you said, I'd prefer to do it in private, but I feel like we need to do it on the live stream. So, um,
To
yeah,
help people connect
yeah,
and realize,
yeah.
like you said, the evolution that's taken place for a lot of us.
Yeah, and that's why I was so excited to do this. So, let me tell you
Me
about
too.
the person that I saw when you had emailed me, and I read it. He showed up. I was getting that he's from. I thought he was from Atlantis, but then you said Lemuria,
Mm-hmm.
right? Backstage. And so I just have goosebumps everywhere. So this is a man from that time. What he wants to come in here and do, I'm not sure, but we were talking about light language. And I have a yes
Mm-hmm.
and no eye for people who don't know me. And my body moves really weird. So
Mm-hmm.
just want to let you know I don't have Tourette's. It
Yeah,
just
I
looks
think
like
most of us have caught your lives recently, and I know
okay.
everybody
Yeah.
just feels their heart open when they want to weep when they hear you speak or when Tuta speaks. So we all understand, but
And the interesting part about the feelings that people, the emotions that come through with the language for other people, it's really interesting because I feel like there's this essence to it of when it emerged through my heart space. The short version of that was I was in Sedona on, I was at one of the retreats, to, spiritual stuff. And I had just come from the caves. You two might know about them. They call it Shaman's Cave now, but I think it was called Hideout Cave, or I don't know. It's a
This is
long,
familiar.
dusty, bumpy dirt road.
Mm,
And the cave, you have to like, there's like this little rock ledge that you walk along, and you see this beautiful cave that's huge, huge opening in the rock that you go in. But then there's like a moon not crescent, but a circle shape that looks out as well. So,
I
um,
never got to experience that. No, I
well,
didn't.
if you ever go back, Shaman's Cave or Hideout Cave. I think Hideout Cave is the older name, but so we were in the cave, and then after that, I went to get some energy work done, and I had already known that I had heart issues. I had been taking medicine for it. It was terrible. I always felt like I was dying, and and so there's lots of stories. I'm just going to try to keep on track. But I was in the Ozark Mountains. Oh, this is interesting. I was in the Ozark Mountains in Arkansas when my heart really started to go bad, or talk to me, I guess I should say. And I ended up going to a local hospital in the little town. And then they told me my heart was racing. So they took me to an ambulance to, I believe it was Fort Smith. And I contacted the person who runs these retreats, and I said, "What's going on with my heart?" And she said, "Just hold on, because you lost your tribe at the Trail of Tears." And I'm like, "What? That came through here?" And so I was like looking, and it's like where they moved me to the bigger hospital. That's where I think there was at least
Yeah.
four tribes that came through there. And I remember just in the hospital just crying, and I couldn't stop crying. I knew that I was safe. I knew I was going to be okay, but I had just stepped into this past life, and I was crying. And then fast forward to when I'm in Sedona, I'm on the table after going to the cave. I went to the healer. My husband was on one side of me, and Adele, the energy worker, was on the other side.
Hmm.
And she was going through my energy centers, and she was coming closer to my heart, and I was just like, I just started crying, and I'm like, they're all gone. They're all gone. And I just, every time I connected with that, I saw this woman, Native American, who was keening just for everything that was lost. Like, home was lost. My people are lost. Like, any connection we had to that area, we were lost. Everything was lost. And she said, Adele said, your tribe is right here. They're right here with you. And they want to say that, it is with, with like great joy that they hold you, and that your tribe is coming back. And they're like, just release the grief, because they're not sad, and they're coming back. And as soon as she said that, my back, like, when I like, just my heart just came right off the table. Like, I was like, is it arching? I always get it wrong. Arching up.
Yeah,
And
when you arch up and it's like you feel it's
yeah,
like
I was
it's gonna come
arching
right
up.
out. Hmm.
And this language, it came out as a song. And like from that point on, it's like, um, it was crazy. Like, this language is coming through, and I'm like, oh my God. It's like that movie with Bruce Willis with The Fifth Element, I think it's called.
Hmm. At
And
the
it's
end
just
when
like this language is just coming out, and I'm like listening to it and like a bystander, and I'm like, what is this coming out? And but that's my Sedona story. But the cool thing about Arkansas, which brings me to your guy who's here, is that Arkansas is the crystals that are in the ground there are linked to Atlantis. I'm not sure about Lemuria, but there's a lot of crystals in the ground that were taken from that. There's like a couple different stories, but the guy that speaks on Freebird Spirit, is his name Tom Moore? He talks about
yeah, I think I've seen.
yeah, he
Yeah.
talks about Lemuria.
Okay.
And I asked during a live stream, I asked him about the crystals in Arkansas, and he said, yeah, they took the crystals and they went to power up Lemuria with some of the crystals. So that brings in this heart language and the essence of when it came through. I had grief, I had tears, and my family was coming back, and I had lost home. So when I speak this language, because I feel like the essence of the situation where it came through in the past life that came through, I'm I'm really curious if that's why people think of home and they cry. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I had
And
that first. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
no, I am. I am. I'm
Oh,
done. Yeah.
the only other time I've had that, well, when I've heard, of course, growing up, and I heard the Native American singing, and my heart would just be like, it felt like home. It felt like it was a connection spiritually that I've never had um, growing up in church or anything. And the only other time where I felt like I wanted to start crying, this might sound a little funny to some people, but um, when they turned the book, The Mists of Avalon, into a mini series,
I know it.
and that opening where she's on the boat, and I'm already getting goosebumps, and the music that they chose for Lorena McKennett's, it was just like, I don't know, but the minute I saw that and heard that, and with the mist parting, I bawled. I was like, past life, because it was just like seeing her. I'm like, that's who Morgan Le Fay. That's the true. This is not the evil sorceress and stuff that the men keep writing about. This was like, even though I wasn't particularly happy with the entire myth of what carried on, but just how, I can't even think of the actress's name right now, but the way she embodied the character, and just, it was just like, I cried. It was like I knew I had a past life as a priestess.
Yeah,
And it,
I connected with the book in the series. I forgot all about it. I should actually write it back down.
yeah.
I love
Um,
listening to books on tape. Be a cool one
so
to
when
listen to.
just that opening, those few strains, and seeing her in the boat, and it was just like, boom, bawling. I'm like, where's this coming from? This is ridiculous. This hardly even started, and here I am already. You know. Um, so I've had a few of those moments,
Yeah.
and that was one of them. So I can relate to that with you. Yeah. And I did have an Akashic reading with Scott Allen, and what I found interesting when you said about Arkansas with Atlantis and then Lemuria, he picked up on me having a past life in Atlantis. I was there when I started seeing what was happening, how it was going to the dark side, and it would, and also, I mean, and then with Lemuria, he said I had multiple past lives, but with the Lemuria, I was traveling, so I was going from the continent to the other. So I can see with them being connected on how I could come across, how those crystals could have gotten there. I could automatically say that makes sense. It was
Yeah.
just like it, that reading that he brought, because he told me so much, and for me too, that immediately jumped right to my recall. So I know that that's okay. I get it with the crystals. So
Yeah.
yes, and how they
Okay.
got there, because we were all traveling in between, meeting other people, cultures, languages. So
Mm-hmm. So I'll share. I've already shared this with you, but I'll share this with the
here,
chat,
let me
the
put this
people.
so people can see.
So this is the card that wanted to come out and play, which this guy reminds me of the guy that's waiting. Not that he has facial hair, but just kind of like a tall, like not lanky, but also not like super, super muscular. He's just like this tall
Mhm.
guy. And I walked by this and it wanted to come out and play. And I noticed that it
Mhm.
looks just like what the man is holding.
Mhm.
Um, so I think this is going to help me ground a little bit during this process.
Say hi to Jem. Okay, a
Hi,
couple
Jen.
people coming in. Jem and Samantha, Viviani. Thank you for all for being here.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to think I'm ignoring you in chat, but I just didn't want to distract JJ from her train of thought.
It's really interesting the visions that people get with the meditations. They're so different, just like the readings from the river. Um, what do you remember from your reading about the river, Heather?
Um, that it was okay, and this is what gave me the chills too when I played it back a couple times. Within the new year, or starting last year into the new year, um, I came across a star planet in one of my crystal cards called Hadar. It was they were calling it Hardarian, and I'm like, and all of a sudden something star. I'm like, what's this? I researched it, and it's not as well known as a star sea like the Pleiades, the Arcturians, the Lyrans. And so I found one. There's not too many. One website said that that Hadar had been a planet that was in the knot of the two Pisces constellation in the galaxy or the star system of Beta Centaur. Now, I'm Sagittarian. My name also, and it's going to sound really weird to people, but even though my name is Heather, I have had other people, for some reason, call me Hadar.
Hmm.
And my moon sign is Pisces.
Hmm.
And so when you were talking about looking up and not seeing that star there anymore, because those people, from what I understand, had to leave their planet and come and star CT here because of a reptilian warring race came and literally destroyed their planet and they had to leave. Now, there's no way for me to really verify this because a lot of people even on the website said there really isn't much information, just what some people have you know channeled, downloaded, or shared. um, but the synchronicities, and then you saying no, we're not staying on the earth, we're going up. I'm like, oh no. Because a lot of people know that I have a little bit of difficulty with starseed just because of how humans on this planet have been experimented on, abducted, and abused by certain races of ETs. And so I've always had that bit of that fear there, and I'm kind of understanding a little bit more too, is because my people from that planet had been. So I can see and understand that. But when you said that I was looking up into the sky, I didn't do that a lot. I mean, I loved looking up in the sky as a child and looking at the stars. But I remember one time looking up, and someone there was a book or something that I read, and they said that there is a star that's important to you. When you find that star, link to that star, and it will help you develop spiritually. And I remember looking up into the sky and not being able to find that star or stars, whatever. And I know that you mentioned there were like three stars, and I've always been fascinated with Orion's belt, but I knew automatically that that wasn't it. But I knew that there was something in a star or within 2 to 3 stars that I knew that I could. Why can't I recognize it? It's just weird. That reading really started to bring memories and experiences up, and just trying to be able to process them.
Yeah,
And
because I remember it was because you can, even though you can either like see the starlight, but know that the star is already gone, but the the information was coming back. Yeah,
oh,
I
so it
remember.
should still be in there. But yeah, there was just something with me not being able to see it, or if it was already gone or still. But it just was so interesting when you said that, because I've always been so earth bound and so very protective of the earth, which I found out because of another past life that I had as an element, as a protector. That um, before then, this must have been how I got here through my peoples. Because you
Mm,
said my ancestors,
yeah.
and I'm like, how does one, because when you say ancestors, that's physical human form for a couple hundred years or whatever. How do you trace ancestral memories to a race that there's no way of really verifying or being able to find information so that you can learn from, and yeah,
Would
that you
you
can learn from.
would you
Like,
be okay if we just connect, just do like an energy thing, you and I?
sure.
Okay. Can you make me the same size as you?
Okay. Sorry.
I don't want to be gigantor. Okay.
Door.
So I'm just, if everybody could do this with us, just breathe. Releasing our day. Releasing our day. Calling my people in. Calling your people in. Our people. Kuna, kuka, 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 kuka. Tananana. Hearing their soft footsteps. Paunanaki, tanonanaki, ta, manonaki. Having them be very, very soft footsteps. Titanonanaki, tanoshtita. We'd like to talk about the stepping stones. Kunanonada tanokaiwa. Manonanaka kitanoka. Kinanano kunakana kitanoshtitanokaiwa. And they're bringing in the tribes that tanoshtita, the ones that put the the spacers totanonana on the throat to make the long necks. Kotanonana kitanoshtita. Yena tano kato tano da tanoshtita. Anonana kina tanoshtita yewa. Tano tanoshtita. Closer to our people. Konama shemawa. Tinana nana kina tanoshiwa kotano kayewa. Tano nanashtita no kayewa. And I'm seeing our people, kotanoshtitae, they're turning around to see this thing in the sky, kotanoshtita, yena tanoshtita, and it's an event in the sky. Anu tanoshtita, what is coming crashing down? Konatonashtita, what is coming by? Konatanokayewa. Panonana titanoshtita, yena tanoshtita. Being a witness, kotanoka, yena tanoka yewa, to this celestial event, konatita noshtita, tanonaka na yewa, tanonaka, kanokaishtika na yewa, anananaki tanoshtitai. Just seeing what information wants to be shared. Widening our brains, katotanoshtita, to make space and room for this information, for you, Heather, kotanotashtita, and for us, kutitanoshtita. Tanonanaki, patatanoshtitanoka, kinama kukaiwa. Yena tanushtita. So when we think about giving birth, kotanushtita, there needs to be kotanonana kita, a stretching, kukana kakayewa, a stretching, kunatanushtita. Tanota, making room, kotanushtita. Tinatanushtita, the great gateway, kunatanushtita. Yenatanushtita. They're showing me it being the gateway inside of our head, kunatanushtita, and they're stretching and stretching, making it tonano more pliable. Kunatanashtinanana kina yewa. Seeing a liquid being poured in, like that golden nectar, kona tonashtitano nanaki, ayena tanoshtitai, this beautiful, thick, golden substance, kotanoshtita, all of the information slowly coming in, tano tanoshtita, seeing the body reacting, kuna tunashtita, having a conversation with the information coming in, and we just say with grace and ease, ato tanoshtita, as much as possible, kano tanoshtitai, yena tanoshtita, whatever it touches, this substance, kitanoshtita, it changes the story. And seeing it going down through the jaw area, and if you can, we'll ask that the muscles also relax in the neck area, the throat. And relaxing the throat a little bit more. Talking about protections that were put there. You get the choice to like the from that time before. They say that there's a shield right there, and they say it's time, if you'd like, to remove the shield. Tona, tinanana, kinana yewa. And if you could just with me, we'll just make some noises. Just, you can, whatever noise you want, like humming, just to loosen up the shield. And tanota nanana, tenatano nanana, tanatana nanana. How interesting. Konotanoshita. When it comes off, inatonana, and we turn this around, it has the information. Konaye tataye. Anunaki tanashtita. Anuka, anuka, kinatanushtita. Yenata umbanuka. Ye tatotanuka yewa. Tinashtita, they're showing you. Katotanoshtita, it's all written down. Konatonaka, you have all the information you need. Koka, it was protected. Kuta, yena tanoshtita, panonanaki, utanua. And we're holding that shield up into the liquid that's still coming in. Kunatunashtita, because that liquid, that substance, the honey, kutanosh substance, is coming over the information. The information is coming in. Palnona kukayewa, wishtita, birth, konatanoshtita, birth, seeing the throat opening. I'm seeing on the off planet that there were stones and crystals that were important. Things that you were drawn to. Yena ye We're just calling those stones back to you now. The energy, the information, anything that was stored from that planet, the time, those people. Information. Relaxing. I'm seeing 2 feathers that are crossed in your heart space. They're golden white. Tutah nuna. Tutah nuna. Kotano katana. Tutah means teacher. Nuna. Tutah nuna. Katana shtita. Kanu kakina titana shtita. Yena tano shtita nakayewa. Yena tanushtita. Anonana. Ayenana. I see the woman. Kona tanushtita coming from the side. Kona titano shenana kinama wishtita nakayewa. And I see the man. Kona tunashtita nana kinatanashtita. Ye ta. Kana ye shenana ye ma yewa. Anonanona kita shtita. Yena tanonaki. They want to move the feathers. They're the feather holder. Kanu tanushtita. They each have one. It's in your heart space. They're moving it down into the womb. Kukitana mayewa. Panuni nakatu tanushtita. Just checking in with your back, giving it some extra support to hold this. Kutanu nakakayewa. They each have a hand on your belly and your back. Titano kayewa. Triple, the 3. The triple, the 3. They're showing me that there's a there's something about a talon. Katatana talon. Yeah, talon. Oh, it's related to the panther, the jaguar. Anunaka. The galaxy. Katotanoshtitai, the panther. Kanotano, the jaguar. Tonatanoshtitai, Anunakita. So they're bringing in the claw. Kunatonashtita, titanoshtita. Just going right down from your top of your head with the claw. Kotanu kashtitayena, breaking you open. Kunatu, like unzipping you. Panunamata. Danonakita. The woman and the man, they open up this area so you can walk through if you would like to. You need to do it on purpose. Tano. So when you're ready, just energetically step into this. Everything feels a little bit different, more sensitive. The feet, like being born. Fluffing your energy up. Panononaka. Enatanashtita. Tina, kashewa. Panukayewa. Checking in with your muscles. Seeing kunawe shenakayewa. Manonanaki. Tanonanaki. Tanatane yumashiwa. Tanakina tanashtita yewa kayewa. Yena tanushtita. Seeing that you are enough to hold this information. Seeing that you are enough.
Okay, I guess this is it.
And so it is.
And you had your eyes closed just as you were talking about them with the feathers and the
Yeah.
jaguar claw. My cat jumped up on the back of my chair and stayed with me. My and then when the claw came down and I was to move out, he jumped down off of my chair.
Brr.
No, excuse me, people.
Yeah, you go ahead and have your reaction. So thank you, everybody, for holding space for that. We'll hold some space for Heather as well, because energy work can be pretty amazing and emotional and physical. All those different layers.
Yeah. It was kind of hard for me to and I think they know that because I have fibromyalgia. And so to sit in a position, I have a lot of pain in my back and my neck. So I was
Mhm.
able to let them know that even though I can't physically feel the release, I'm imagining in my mind that my body is feeling it
Good.
spiritually if I can't quite do it physically right now because of the pain.
Mhm.
But just before you brought the jaguar, I mean, he just out of nowhere jumped on the back of my chair. I know Teresa Levine, I think, saw it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure everybody saw it. And he said, usually he forces himself in front of me. Everybody knows this in my lives. He will come here and he will force himself right in front. It was like he was sitting there holding space for his mama just now. And then he got down. So I guess. So when you said a shield and to look inside the shield,
Yeah.
there was supposed to be writing. I didn't see anything. But for me, my hand went up like this, and the shield was actually in my mind's eye was a shell.
Oh, beautiful.
So, but there was nothing that I could see that was written. But
Yeah.
I mean, before you even mentioned the um the golden light, when you're talking about the head opening and expanding right in the middle, it was well bizarre, but everybody here gets it.
Yeah.
So I could see that opening, but before you even said pouring in gold light, there was a golden ball of light sitting right inside of where it had pulled. There was like the white light and everything around it, but there was a golden ball. So it was as if it was already there. But yet you said you already everything you have is already in there.
Yeah.
But I still, I it was weird. I was doing something with my hands, but when you were saying with, how you were going high, well, at least on my end, it sounded like you were high when you were
Mm.
doing the throat. For me, it was really deep because I have a voice, but there's sometimes I have a trouble expressing things. And when you said there was a celestial event, was that like a destruction of part of the world?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you
Something,
said there
something,
was,
something was coming down, and we witnessed it.
and that was the last thing we witnessed.
I think so. Yeah. we all turned around and we're just watching it, like just witnessing it.
Yeah, I didn't see an explosion or anything. I just
I
remember
just
thinking
I saw it go by.
bye, and then that was it.
Hmm.
But it was so weird because when you said there was a celestial event, you know what jumped into my head was the blue light or the blue star
Mm.
that is actually in Hopi prophecy, but that hasn't
Oh,
come
the
yet.
the blue kachina, the kachinas, right? The
I don't know the Hopis.
there's gonna be a blue and a red.
I heard about the blue when you see a blue star, according to the Hopi prophecy. When you see a blue star in the sky, that means a coming to the end of the world and having to, you know, change our ways. And why I saw it blue in this event, if it's
Mhm.
already happened, unless the blue light is a star that or a meteor that looks blue as it comes in. I don't know, but that was interesting.
Yeah,
That popped in my head.
in in San Diego, I lived in northern San Diego County, in Oceanside, and I went outside. It was nighttime. I went outside in my beautiful backyard, and I looked up, and it was as if daytime was shining through the darkness. It was like this blue opening, and I was so thankful that this other person I knew got it a picture of it. Um, they were in a different location, but they got a picture of it as well too. And it was just like time. It was just a rip in time. It was like daytime and nighttime all at the same. So I always wondered if that was the blue.
Hmm.
I knew of it as like the I think it's the blue kachina, where there'll be a red one and a blue one in the battle, and I don't
Wow.
know. How do you feel? It'll take a little while for everything to integrate.
Well, if I did everything properly, I was just kind of like going, but you know,
Yeah.
I do feel well. I could be a hot flash too. I'm pretty positive, but I do feel very warm. I feel
Good.
just slightly like your ears are plugged, but not quite plugged.
Yeah.
Kind of
Not
warm,
to send
tingling.
not I'm trying not to send my stuff to you
No,
because I have like
but
dental work done.
I'm I'm feeling it all in here. I feel something right up in right here.
Yeah, and you get to see like where your story goes with this too. Like maybe it was a download, that stuff was just so fascinating when they turned it around. I didn't see the writing, but it was almost like, when you take wallpaper off and it was different layers, and it was just like,
Okay, yeah.
when
Yeah,
you
I grew up in a house with my mom loved to wallpaper. Yes.
yeah, and each
Yeah.
wallpaper color had a different story. Like, oh, I remember that, and I remember that. So it was like just
Kind of
pieces
like
of
an abalone shell.
yeah, yeah,
Juno, abalone shell. The
yeah. With the
labradorite from
labradorite,
today.
you guys were talking about it. Hmm.
Now, the male and the female, are those guides or do they just step in because
From what I was understanding, um,
sorry.
just what I was understanding, it was that female you talked about with the birth. Um, and the man was the person when you told me your story, um, when you emailed me. That's the guy that appeared. So he's the I kind of got the Atlantis vibe, but then when you said Lemurian, so he came in, she came in, they gave you the like um golden white feathers.
You had to remove them off the
Yeah,
heart
they moved him from
or
the
to the
heart
stomach
down
into the
into the
back.
bone. So, what else? It was so neat because you shared that the totem stone, And when I saw the claw, I'm I noticed it a couple of times. I noticed it when you were off planet on your planet and there were rocks that you liked. It was similar to that I was seeing. And then the claw came through as that material first. Um, and then I forget what the third thing is. Cool.
Claw.
Yeah.
It's a shell.
Nice. Boom, 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 boom. I love using things like that energetically.
I wonder. Yeah, because that's part of an abalone shell. And I loved it because it reminded me of a claw,
Yeah.
a bird's claw or a cat's claw. I've had this for years. I can't tell you how many years I've had this. Well, maybe it's supposed to be out now. You are writing something down too
Yeah.
that you found interesting. Now, is that something I can research, or is that only something that? Because the last time you did a reading for me, you were writing also down
Hmm.
Kona.
Yeah, Tutah. You're getting all the Tutahs. In my language, there are the Titas, the Tutahs, like my language calls them in. And the Tutahs are a group of people who are the teachers. So you got two names. You got the Kuna Tutah, and then you also got Tutah Nuna, which is really interesting because maybe it's Kuna Tutah Nuna. Maybe you have the three names. Ooh, I got goosebumps with that.
So is that a three different spirit guides
No,
or
that's
or a
you.
title? Oh, also that's
That's
my
you.
spiritual. So that was my spirit name back then, or I'm supposed to
It's
have a new name.
it's the essence
The
of
title.
whatever you bring forth from this. It's the Kuna Tuta and then the Tuta Nuna. Um, and I know that sounds confusing, but I've gotten names for other people, and
Okay.
yeah, they're either a Tita, a Tuta, or a Taka. Yeah, I can't remember who I think the Takas are the callers because that's one of the names I get. Is the yeah.
Because when that happened to me when I was younger, now is that something? Because you and Karen do. Karen's very different with her, with who comes and speaks through her,
Mm-hmm.
and with Tuda speaking through you. Now, are they here telling me that this is something that I'm to develop, and that's why this memory came back was because of whatever that language was?
You get to do whatever you want because I'm not going to be a little bossy pants over here.
Oh, well, I didn't know if that was what their message was, because I know we have free will.
Yes.
So I didn't
Yes.
know because my concern is me opening my mouth saying things that sound beautiful to me,
Mm-hmm.
but not knowing if there's any way, because like I tell a lot of people, I want to make sure I stay integrity. I don't want to spout something if I'm not sure what it is that I'm, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that fear, that's that
You
self-doubt
know,
of learning.
I have advice for this. I do. I
Okay.
have the most perfect advice for this is
um
like you have words that want to come out right now or no?
Part of me is saying not right now,
Yeah, and that's okay.
because I have to get used to this before
Yes.
I go,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
and I figured if I were to do this privately with you or me just alone and
Yeah.
maybe record it and share
I
it with
think
you
it's
and say
I think it's perfect for you to um, speak it to yourself, get to know it like a friend. And then when you're ready, some of the things you can do is share it with me, a friend, a family member. I like
No, friends. I
I like
mean, yeah.
sharing. I like it when people share their languages with me, because I really like hearing them and how different they can be, and
Hmm.
I really like tapping, just listening energetically to it and seeing what comes to me, um, and that helps the person speaking it. Yeah. Juno says get comfy with it first, so you play
Mm.
around with it, and whatever it is, like this person right here, that's integrity. He's holding on to his heart. This guy isn't in a rush. He's got, I think this belongs to you. You'll have to give me your address. I think
Are
this
you
guy wants
serious?
I think this guy wants to come to you. This is your light. Hurts my throat. I mean, my throat hurts, so I'm using it. It doesn't hurt my throat. English wrong. Yeah, give me your address.
Wow.
I
Um,
have a lot of crystal. You guys were talking about crystal magic. I think I
yeah.
paid I paid for people's salaries there with all my purchases.
Also, you've been to the Flagstaff location in the
No,
Sedona?
not Flagstaff, just Sedona.
The Sedona.
Usually when I go up to Flagstaff from Sedona, I'm car sick. And so
Oh,
I don't.
so the switchbacks?
Yes.
I
But
miss the switchbacks.
yeah, so this is I mean, it matches that guy's thing so perfectly.
So for me, I feel more comfortable from a feminine perspective for the voice for speaking
Mhm.
from a female guide, or is this something that they say I have to get over? That I
Um,
need to.
to be honest with you, I think that because of your connection, when it came out before, and then you were talking about the birthing situation from the
Hmm.
past life, I think it is. I think it would be appropriate to do some ceremony around that, and however that ceremony, whatever your heart calls. It's just that time is calling to your womb, kind of like how mine's a heart language.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not exactly sure how it will all line up with you, but I do feel that if you connect to when you connect to that and have a ceremony of I see you, I hear you, I feel you, um,
Yeah,
and like
there's a lot of pain
yeah, um,
associated with that area. Yeah,
yeah, and it's almost like burying the placenta type thing,
because I've had dreams where I've been pregnant and I'm ready to give birth in these dreams, and I'm like, no, I'm going to die. I can't, and then I wake up and I'm, in
yeah,
sweats and everything. So I know
yeah.
that that's coming through from definitely a past life.
I think once you start practicing doing the ceremony for that, seeing like what kind of tears come through, what kind of feelings come through. I also, so do you see orbs? Do you see
Um,
orbs at all?
I do, but I only see them when I'm live and I'm seeing them on here. I don't see
Okay.
them around me, but I'll see them and I'll be like,
Yeah. Okay. Well, they
it's
brought
weird.
they brought the orbs that are outside of you, your body. I got with this language that there's this process that there's tears, there's excitement, and then they actually showed me a picture of that female having the issues with the birth, and they showed me that there was a binding, like she was bound. There was like a binding around her physically. So I don't know if that just means she wasn't free to, I don't know. But when somebody is bound or there's binding, that's usually from my experience, something that was out of that woman's control.
So it was okay, so when I was in this moment, was this then me in a past life, or was this
Mm.
woman showing me what she went through in a past life?
I
So
think it's
that
one. I think it's one and the same.
okay, so I am this person and I have to, yeah.
So if it was me, and or my advice would be, if there's a binding, um, I would just energetically, you can ask Jaguar, how you can be of service to this past life. Like, how can I be of service to this? And that goes for all of us. If you're just wondering about something, like, how can I be of service? Like, how can um, send healing to her, healing and love, and just be like, I'm witnessing this, and I hear you and I see you. Um, you
Because
know.
I haven't had one of those dreams in a long time, but my relationship with my earth mother um, did not go well into my older age. And I have nightmares waking up thinking she's right there when it's actually my Shan. It's him. So there's a lot of trauma through what's happened to women in my family, being assaulted, with what
Mhm.
happened to me with, let people know I talked openly about this with my sexual abuse with my brother, and how, but people don't know about really with me and my mother's past, but just, and it all has to do with the womb, the sexual organs.
Yeah.
So this is probably where I need to focus on some of the shadow work that still needs to be healed and to be
And
brought
to
through.
do it in, if we could just ask that it's done with as much grace and ease
As
and with
possible.
love, because when I think of that golden honey light that came through, if there
Hmm.
are any sharp points to things, I see it smoothing it out. That honey nectar stuff, that it would touch the side of you, and there was like this electronical, like, that's probably not a word, but you know what I mean.
Hmm.
Like, changing of the story, like changing of, almost like changing. It's different than DNA, but it's similar to DNA, and I don't know what it is, but it's,
Ancestral DNA, maybe
yeah,
spiritual.
it's something that's ready to step into some transformation, some healing, is what I see. And it doesn't have to be, um, if we could just say that we would like it with grace and ease. um, but
Hmm.
I totally understand the binding now, that it, because there's, when somebody's binding you or imprisoning you or whatnot, it's, somebody has power over you to put you in that state. Uh,
Hmm.
so that
That
could
would
be
be my mother
a thing.
in this lifetime.
Yeah.
In that lifetime, I don't know, but in this lifetime, I wanted nothing to do with having, you know, human children. Um, the It's not that I don't like children. It's just the thought of it terrified me. I would have felt trapped. I would have been trapped. There we go. I did, because I had to look after my niece and nephew at a very young age myself, and I knew that I couldn't handle it. I mean, at 10, 12 years old, I saw what just been having to watch them 8 hours out of the day, and what I knew it was not. And then the way, how do I say, discipline was used, um, just the whole history of, you know, family abuse, violence,
Yeah.
especially on one side. So, and then of course, with the severe pain that I've had as a child, with, my menstrual period, and just, I mean, intense pain. Like I just kept wanting to just beat on my legs. The pain was, that bad. Um, Finally, about 6 years ago, my doctor was like, "Okay, you're starting to develop fibroids now. We need to get this. We need to get this out." And I'm like, "Please, yes." So, for me, that was such a strong liberation, but yet it's obvious I still have the etheric ties attached to.
There's all sorts of animals talking outside right now. I think I can hear the coyotes,
Oh wow, the tricksters.
the tricksters.
And I have noisy neighbors too. So
The tricksters.
if anybody hears, someone trying to do karaoke, that's my neighbor through the wall over here. Um,
Yeah, so I would just say going forward, you have some things to focus
yes.
on,
Um,
and how neat
I
to like,
appreciate you so much doing this for me. And I
yeah,
appreciate everybody being here and holding space for me for this. It's going to definitely, tonight's going to be definitely a turning point for me. It's going to probably take a while to assimilate everything.
yeah.
Um, but I want to make sure that you are my guest. Is there anything that you want to share about yourself with people in my chat? I think most of us, have heard of you, have seen your videos. Was there anything that you feel like
You know
Tuta
that
wants to share with everybody, or you want to share with us about yourself?
I would just say that when we're doing these, what do they call the dark soul of the night?
Hmm.
When we do these walks, it's just like, oh, here we go again. Like, oh, I thought I put that
Yes.
away.
How many times do I have to go through these healing
What
ceremonies
the
and these
F?
experiences? I thought, because I had
Yeah.
them in Sedona. I thought I had cut the cords to my
Mm,
mother. I mean, this woman was drumming and singing over me, and the I was screaming, I was crying, I could not stop sobbing. And afterwards, I felt like, okay, I must have released her. I felt lighter, but
yeah,
ever since then up until now, it's almost as if it's gotten tighter. Like
yeah. Binding.
I don't know if it's her still holding on to me from the
Mhm.
other side
Dark
because
night of
of
the
the
soul. Yeah.
or
Mhm.
if it's still yeah, this is something I have to figure out if this is her on the other side still trying to have that control, or if it's my subconscious fear of her that's redoing or returning the yeah,
Yeah. Well, I have a feeling
a lot
that
of work to do.
between between what everybody witnessed here, or if they watch this later, I do feel like this has helped people, like
Hmm.
witness what this process is, and especially when it comes with healings, like energetic healings, it's just a part of the big story. It's not like, oh, we have this healing and then we're good. Like you did this work in Sedona already,
And
and
it's like, how many times do I have to keep
but
releasing to find that it's always still
but
there?
I think I do believe that, reconnecting, I think this person was left behind, and this person wants to reconnect. The woman, that was, the binding and what she went through. It's almost like the 2 of you, um, are going to become, closer. And what an honor that you get to do that. You get to hold her, you get to hold her and send love, and be you guys can be of service to each other, is what I would say. That's all I want to say, and that
Thank
I'm holding you in my heart space, and you're so, so brave to do this, on your channel.
Yeah, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know, maybe I should do this backstage, but
Yeah.
um, it was just like, it just was just like, no, this
Yeah.
is has to be no specific reason, like, kindly, no, that this was just no. And then when you're like, no, I think I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, hmm
So take a breath, take a moment, take the weekend.
oh, definitely.
Pat yourself on the back because I it's just lovely to witness people being vulnerable and stepping into their story deeper. So
Now, I knew that this was going to be an interesting, you know, live with you. I just didn't know to the extent.
I know I was excited. Like I thought yesterday was Friday. That's how excited I was.
Oh
And then
my
I'm like,
goodness.
oh, it's just Thursday.
And I'm going to have to play this back tomorrow
Yeah,
once,
yeah,
the chores are done, the shopping is done,
yeah.
and I
Get
can have,
yourself ready when you go shopping and do the chores to make sure you have a couple of days just to like sit with it, stare at a
mhm,
wall, do whatever you need to do.
pick up my pencils, my art, my brushes or my pencils and stuff, and just,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
I would love to see I would love to see what your planet looked like. If you tap into that at all, I would love to see that with all of the cool rocks on the ground.
I know. Now, if Hadar was the right one, people said that the planet was very similar to Earth. So that
Mhm.
could be why I'm so attached to this planet, is because it looked like the one that, you know, I had come from. And Lauren, what do you think I've been drinking this whole time?
Yeah.
Plenty of water.
Yeah.
Gotta flush this all out. All
Yeah, I'm gonna drink a lot
the
of water too,
debris.
but, please send me an
Will
email
do.
with your address, and
Will
I'll get
do.
this off to you.
Oh my goodness. I can't wait. I just hope that they handle it properly, because where I'm at, people have a tendency of, you know, lifting people's packages and things, but I'm going
Well,
to put the attention.
you let me know where to send it. Do you have a business? I could send it to a business.
No, but I'll make sure that there's enough energy protection
Okay.
around that, so that anybody who might go near it or
I
see
mean,
it, that they just,
come on, you were meant for this.
yeah, I'm just going to make sure that it gets into my hands and my hands only. So,
Okay.
most definitely. Okay.
You need to go rest.
Do you have anything coming up on your channel or on anybody else's
Um,
channel this weekend or weekend?
Sunday, I'm gonna be, they asked me to do like an ending like prayer meditation with Lisa, Kevin, and Debbie. So when I'm able to do it, I'll come in and do the ending meditation and just prayers for people.
That's
Um,
nice.
yeah, but
Awesome.
you go take care of yourself.
Yes.
Thank you.
I need to. Thank you.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody. Have a good night.